This episode of Lawyers Tell All is brought to you by the Intake Academy. Do you know how to cement relationships with more of your ideal clients, get them to commit to you, and send you more referrals than you ever thought possible? Visit www.intakeacademy.com, where you will get the strategies you need to make the most of your marketing and advertising dollars. Plus, develop a team of intake specialists and attorneys who convert more qualified case opportunities and build meaningful relationships with prospective clients. Welcome to the Lawyers Tell All podcast, where Chris Mullins, the preeminent sales and communications consultant in the legal industry, shows you how it looks through lawyers' eyes. Here, innovators in the trenches provide powerful insights that help you connect with new clients, handle the sometimes harsh realities of the legal profession, and embrace the mindsets needed to succeed. Be sure to visit our website at www.lawyerstellall.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, lean in, tune in, and let's take a deep dive.
Hello, everyone. It's Chris Mullins with Lawyers Tell All, and today I'm interviewing Erica Caviness, and Erica is going to tell you about herself.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. So, again, my name is Erica, and I am the founder and lead consultant of Thrive Concepts. My absolute heart is helping law firm owners and their leadership teams really take that next step of growth and get to where they want to be by implementing different processes, systems, and different tools and resources customized to their needs to really get to that next level. And there's really no greater professional blessing than having the ability, the desire, and the talent to, really meet people where they are and craft a custom plan to get them to where they want to be. And the legal industry, I know we share this, Chris, this heart for the legal industry. And I'm so excited to spend this time with you today, just discussing a few insights.
Absolutely. How did the whole legal profession happen for you? What happened there?
So it's a really great story. I'm so grateful for my journey. I actually started right out of undergrad. I started as a paralegal for a Social Security and disability law firm, and I was there for several years. I was actually on my way to pursuing law school, but I never started. I felt a calling to go into more of a different, toward a different path, into more so of the training, coaching, consulting realm. And I worked on the medical side for many years and then made my way over to the legal side. And I believe it was really, that transition that made me realize my true calling in the legal industry. And it was so wonderful to be able to make that shift and stay connected with, mentors and folks who had really helped get me to that level of, breaking through certain self-imposed limits and just looking at, okay, this is where I know I want to really shine my talents and really help people get to their next level as well.
Tell me about your business.
Okay. So I work with law firm owners and their leadership teams with customized plans to grow. So whether that's on the leadership development side and really making sure they have a strong leadership team built out and equipped to execute, whether that's more on the operational side and making sure they have the most efficient systems and processes to really accomplish their goals, making sure they have the right numbers, KPIs, data being tracked, right? And making sure that everybody knows and is on the same page as to what the vision of the firm is. Another passion that I have in working with law firms is focusing on referral generation, whether that's from attorney referrals, referral partners, or client referrals. So that's another on the marketing piece is huge as well. And when you combine, those areas together, we can really make some magic happen and helping that firm take off to new heights.
Awesome. So here's what's interesting. So two things. One is the operational side. So here's what I notice in my business. So So what we do is we help law firms convert
Yeah.
more. And
It's so important. So important.
critically important, but there's a lot of things you have to do to get there. So a lot of
Yes.
stuff and selling and team members and all of that. But what I've been noticing is the operations manager, director, C-level, depending on the firm, they have been the ones that have had to take the charge of intake.
Right.
But lately I've been noticing that. And then the other, so by me working closely with operations for that reason, for what I do,
Yeah.
I'm also noticing and realizing they don't have any support. People,
Right. So true. Yeah.
maybe sometimes they started as a office manager.
Right.
And we said, okay, now you're operations.
And by default, that now they're running the whole ship, right?
Happens. But then, and I was like, oh, you know what? I don't really know if I've heard of a lot of just operational support and help out there.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So that what you're saying is so true. And I am certainly not an intake expert. I am in absolute awe of intake specialists and those who train them. It is, I mean, you guys are the front line of defense, right? It is critically important. All those marketing dollars being spent, right? If you're not converting, it's literally flushing them, down the river.
Right.
So it's so important. And, from an operations standpoint, everything falls under operations, right? Intake being one of those, and the support mechanisms around that. So, if especially I love working with teams who have a strong intake support consultant coach, where they're really honing in on that piece, and where I feel like I provide the most value. What I've my track record has shown where my talents lie is really supporting that from the leadership standpoint and the production standpoint. What happens after that? What happens after that potential new client is converted into a new client? And then how are we moving those cases along, right? How are we setting up the rest of the firm to support that growth? Because with new clients comes capacity issues sometimes, right? And that's a blessing, but it can be a curse if you don't have the right systems and processes in place. So really just rallying everyone, making sure the proper metrics and KPIs are being tracked, and making sure that everybody's on the same page in terms of the vision of the firm. Where are we going to be in 1 month? Where are we going to be in 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? Those critical intervals, from an operations standpoint, we need to make sure we have the infrastructure in place to support that and the right people in the right seats on that bus to drive it.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, when you talk about the blessing and the curse, I have had a small handful of firms over the past couple of years that their conversion just went crazy.
Yeah.
But they weren't prepared for it.
Right.
Operate.
See that so much.
It's serious trouble behind so having to hire more attorneys and paralegals. And I mean, I know people can say, "Oh, I'd love to have that problem." Well, it becomes a really big problem if you're not
right. Yeah. Well, you want that problem until you don't want that problem, right?
Once I put the brakes on marketing.
Yeah.
Brakes on marketing because it was so difficult for them.
Right. Yeah. I do feel like it's a domino effect, and it's something that, you could absolutely come out from under, but you've got to have the right support and the right people guiding you, those who have been there before, done what you're trying to do, and you have the insight to really guide you and help you have that kind of third party bird's eye perspective.
Right. So what are some of the barriers that come with what you do that you really help people so that they can thrive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I named my company Thrive is that my mom growing up, I was an only child growing up. I actually lost my mother in 2017. So this, the name of this company is actually a really in honor of her legacy. The biggest lesson she ever taught me growing up was we want to thrive and not just eke by, right? And just survive and just, kind of eke our way through life. So that word has always been very powerful and important to me. And so that's why I chose it. That's just a small backstory there.
That's
Uh,
beautiful.
but the what you're saying, in terms of barriers, I think mindset, is I feel like that term can sound fluffy, but it's so powerful and it's so true. And, especially the smaller firms, I think they sort of get locked into this mindset of this is just too much for us. We don't need to do that. Well, as long as we have a good, our brand and our reputation, stays strong and stays positive, we'll be fine. But that's just not the reality these days, right? We've got to implement different things to grow, and it's not just reliant on, we're a strong brand, we have a great reputation in our community. That's huge. That's the first step, absolutely. But mindset is a huge barrier, and I also find the current team in place can definitely be a huge barrier. And oftentimes it's through no fault of their own. They
Yeah.
just haven't had the proper coaching and training. And these skills, many of these skills are not inherent skills. So we've got to just, peel back the onion a bit and look at the core of, okay, what did we do to get here? What worked well? If it didn't work well, let's nix it. Let's try something new.
Right.
And, make sure that we're always staying curious and chasing the things that are actually going to drive results. And that really starts with the team, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. And there's always, I've never not run across this, but current team, maybe not all, but there usually is a lot of, how should I say it? Maybe drama. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, really bad stuff though, like really bad. And then operations, whomever that person is, it's a real struggle because they've been there, those people for so long, and some of them might be family. And so it's a real struggle for them to try to move things forward in a different direction.
Yes, I've seen that many times as well. And these are very delicate lines, that you want to tiptoe in dealing with human nature and human behavior. I'm a huge fan of utilizing different assessments that really dig into who we are as humans and how we operate, how we take action, what drives us intrinsically. I'm a huge fan of tapping into those. I honestly swear by them. It really can help. It doesn't solve everything, but it provides so much insight and shines a flashlight on the root of some of these issues. And then we can, get to roll up our sleeves and get to the harder work of actually changing those behaviors and changing those attached results, but really understanding who we are and who our team members are and how we interact together. That's huge. And I've definitely seen that to be a huge win when teams will tap into that and humor me, at least, even if they think it's not going to make a difference. If they humor me and go with it, we're always able to get some good results together. So I love that.
So what are you using the DISC assessments?
I'm a huge fan of DISC. I don't personally utilize that in my current coaching and training. I'm a huge fan of Colby and Colby system. Yeah. So it is a just absolutely tried and true system that highlights how we operate, how we take action, how we problem solve. And it is huge. Not only, I love to start with the current team first and really make sure that they understand what we're working with, and then really start to dial in the hiring process, utilizing the different resources within the Colby system. And it has been an absolute godsend for not only me in my personal life, but for the clients I've worked with over the years. And it's a wonderful tool. I highly recommend, and that's definitely a go-to for me.
So, do you do more than operations, right? So, I mean, operations is obviously a big part of peeling back.
Right.
But yeah.
Yes. I have separate training modules that are focused, solely on leadership development and, training those key players. Even if a team, especially a smaller firm, has a smaller team with maybe not an official executive leadership team, I really have a heart for coming in and helping that law firm owner identify those key players and train them up to, where they want to be in their career, and to eventually, and ideally a law firm will grow to the point where they have a C-suite executive leadership team. But it all starts with those key players who are ambitious and they're humble, and they just, they have a heart for growth, and they have a heart for furthering that firm's brand and that firm's mission. And sometimes it takes, an outside person to come in and identify that. And that's one of the most rewarding parts of my work, for sure.
Yeah.
I also love, as I mentioned, I also love focusing on especially the referral marketing piece. And I've worked in-house for a large trial firm in that role, specifically on the attorney relations side. So really growing that referral network, especially on the referral partner side. But all of those strategies, whether it's referring attorneys, clients, those blend together to, really provide a strong foundation of someone's marketing budget, and everything that they're doing in terms of marketing should always be rooted in referrals, in my opinion.
I agree. And so I think that the two pretty easy revenue streams that are ignored, in my opinion, is like intake and because referral, like you already paid for the leads.
Right.
Let's just get more from it. I mean, I know firms that get $8 in revenue just by referral fees.
Right.
But a lot of firms don't pay attention to it. So would you recommend to get started with that?
From the referrals, that referral side, as you're mentioning, first of all, get a lay of the land, find out where you are, get the reports running, get the numbers going, find out, how many referrals are you bringing in on a monthly basis? How many referrals are you sending out on a monthly basis? Those are, if you're in PI, that is a huge, revenue stream, those referral fees. So making sure both incoming and outgoing, where you stand as of today. Look at the last, bare minimum, the last 12 months. And then, craft a strategy. What can we do better? Where are our top referral sources? And what do those relationships look like? And above all else, someone has to be owning this result, right? On the team. It may be more than one person, depending on how big your firm is. You might have one person, owning the outbound, and one person owning the inbound. There's lots of different combinations, that could happen there. So I don't want to over generalize here, but any result in your law firm that you are trying to change, whether that's to grow that number or to reduce the number, depending on what it is, right? You've got to have someone babysitting that, day in and day out. If all of us are in charge of it, right? That's pretty much code for it's not going anywhere.
Right. I mean, you got to build the relationships and nurture the relationships and communicate with attorneys and where's the case at and how can I help you? All of that.
Yes. Yeah. The communication piece. I mean, going back to our systems and processes conversation, even a very simple bare bones system is better than nothing. And just making sure you're communicating with those referral sources, letting them know they're top of mind, letting them know you're taking great care of those clients that they've entrusted you with, right? Providing them with updates. Even a bare bones system can work wonders there in increasing that stream of business.
And it's even the other side too, the business that we're sending them, we want about that too.
Yes, absolutely. And taking those, something that I found invaluable when I was in that role myself was taking the time to educate my network on the types of cases that we wanted to be sent to us, and also types of cases that maybe we were getting, on the intake side, but that didn't fall into our expertise, our wheelhouse, and looking for some strong and strategic partners for those that we know we would be sending out. So really just that going back to what you said, communication and educating, your network on what you want versus what you want to also help them with. Always coming from a place, I think this is key, always coming from a place of how can I support you? How can I support you? Not coming at for, place with my hand out, what can you give me? But how can I support you? I'm just a really firm believer that's the best approach for business, especially when you're talking about referrals.
Law reciprocity, right? So
yes, 100%.
Most important. Do you help firms set up a referral process, or is it mostly helping them to refine what they already have?
Yeah, I do both, either or. So wherever they're at, I'm happy to meet them there. And whether we build it from scratch or we go in and refine it and revamp it, I'm there for it, and I absolutely love it.
Well, all right. So anything else that you want to share with everybody?
I'm so grateful for this industry. I'll say that. I think that there's so many rock stars, just running around this industry, and I'm so grateful to be, in the inner circles of those and have them in my inner circle. Many friends in this industry have become like family to me. And I just want to encourage everyone that is, in the process of building something, achieving, you're in the process of achieving goals within your firm right now. Keep going and reach out for support. There's so many areas of support out there. There's so many trainers, consultants, coaches. You've got to find the right one that works for you. It's definitely not one size fits all, but reach out. Do not go through this alone. This is such an amazing industry. We have an immense opportunity to help so many people in need, and just build your network, build your support system.
And how can people get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So Erica at thriveconcepts.org is my email. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm really active there. So Erica Caviness on LinkedIn. And I'd be grateful to connect with anyone who's looking to take their firm to the next level, and especially if they need help really getting their leadership to the next level. Please feel free to call on me. I'd love to help.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris. Keep doing some great work.
Yeah, you too. So long, everybody. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Lawyers Tell All, where Chris Mullins takes you on a journey with lawyers in the trenches who show you the realities of what it takes to succeed in this chaotic, crowded, ever-changing profession. Remember to visit our website at www.lawyerstellall.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on Lawyers Tell All.